Greetings from all of us Catholics. We are delighted to have you return to our channel. I hope you have a wonderful day in Christ. To ensure you don't miss any updates, we hope you like this movie and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come along for the ride as you watch this film through to the very finish. A powerful message brought by the powerful St. Michael the Archangel has surfaced in a world that is becoming more and more consumed by unpredictability and conflict. This message cuts through the everyday and transcends the commonplace to disclose a reality that has to be prepared for and attended to right away. There is going to be a global famine, but this one will not be like any that humanity has ever experienced. Not only will there be a severe food shortage, but there will also be a severe spiritual famine, a loss of justice, faith, and truth that will try humanity's very soul. Respected as the commander of the celestial forces, St. Michael has fallen bearing a prophecy that touches the core of the hearts of those who are spiritually sensitive. He issues a clear warning, saying that the world is about to enter a time of great hardship, and that the forces of evil would try to destroy humanity's ability to have faith. The purpose of this famine, which is being planned by evil forces, is to weaken the determination of the faithful by attacking them spiritually as well as physically. But there's also a promise in this grim warning, a glimmer of light that shines through the approaching gloom. According to revelations from St. Michael, individuals who hold fast to their faith will not be forsaken. The blessed grape is a basic yet magical emblem that is at the center of the divine's provision for them, which will take place in ways beyond our comprehension. The blessed grape will appear as a gift from God during this spiritual famine, when tangible sustenance like bread and water becomes rare. When consecrated by a pure-hearted priest whose motives are in line with God's purpose, this simple fruit will become something more than food. In the worst of circumstances, it will provide spiritual sustenance, keeping the body and the soul alive. The blessed grape is a testament to God's unwavering kindness and love for His children, not just a sign of survival. It serves as a reminder that people who put their faith in God will experience miraculous means of having their needs supplied, even in the midst of extreme difficulty. The blessing this fruit bestows and the sincerity with which it is eaten are what give it its potency. St. Michael stresses that the Eucharist is the primary source of spiritual food, even though the blessed grape provides a material form of divine sustenance. The core of the Christian faith has always been the Eucharist, which represents Christ's presence. It will become even more important during the upcoming famine, a lifeline that gives believers strength to persevere through the difficulties ahead and connects them to the divine. More than merely a custom, the Eucharist is a physical representation of Christ's commitment to stick by His disciples through thick and thin. Believers are reminded that they are never alone when they partake of the Eucharist. Christ is with them, providing food for them as they go through the impending spiritual desert by offering His body and blood. The prophecy of St. Michael is a call to action as well as a caution. It is advised of believers to get ready for the upcoming tribulations on a physical and spiritual level. More than just stockpiling materials is needed for this preparedness. A stronger faith, more prayer, and a dedication to life in God's plan are also necessary. The Rosary is among the most effective instruments in this spiritual preparation. St. Michael exhorts believers to incorporate the Rosary into their everyday routines. The Rosary acts as a barrier against the powers of evil because of its contemplative prayers and emphasis on the mysteries of Christ's life. It is a tool that can strengthen the soul and give one the fortitude to withstand the hardships and temptations that will come with the hunger. Priests and religious communities will play an ever more important role as the famine spreads. Priests will be expected to lead their flocks through the next problems in their capacity as spiritual leaders of their congregations. They will be in charge of distributing the Eucharist, consecrating the holy grapes, and offering those in need of spiritual support. Faith-based communities will be extremely important during this difficult period. These communities will need to band together to help one another as their material resources diminish, giving each other moral support and sharing what little they have. Worship spaces will transform into havens of hope where believers can congregate to partake in the Eucharist and fortify their resolve. Miracles will start to happen right in the middle of this worldwide catastrophe. Food that appears to defy natural rules will be provided by the consecrated grapes, blessed by priests. When all other food sources have failed, entire populations will be sustained by these sacred fruits, which will become symbols of faith and resistance. The Eucharist will become even more important, serving as a concrete reminder of God's unfailing love and the center of spiritual life. These wonders won't go overlooked. They will act as potent monuments to the tenacity of faith and the efficacy of supernatural intervention. Witnesses of these miracles will be reminded that no matter how overwhelming a trial may seem, God's grace is sufficient to get them through it. Those who have taken heed of St. Michael's warning will not waver as the famine engulfs entire nations in its shadow. They'll realize that the real hunger is a spiritual one rather than a physical one. They will have the fortitude to confront the challenges ahead with steadfast trust thanks to this understanding. Those who do not allow despair to seep into their hearts will be the ones bearing the light of hope, which will meet the darkness that settles upon the planet. They will be guided through the storm by St. Michael, who will ward off evil powers and point them in the direction of redemption with his shield of light. As portrayed by St. Michael, the world famine is a call to conversion rather than merely a penalty or outcome of human behavior. It is a chance for believers to turn back to God, acknowledge their own frailty, and look to the spiritual realm rather than the material for redemption. Every day of starvation and every instant of thirst will be a test of faith. It will be an opportunity for believers to reaffirm their dependence on divine grace and to show their confidence in God's providence. In spite of the physical hardships, those who rise to this challenge will discover that their spirits are fed in ways that go beyond this world. Those who have remained true will find themselves at the beginning of a new age when the famine reaches its height. Even though it may be challenging, this time of trial and error will eventually result in a strengthening of spiritual awareness and a resurgence of faith. They will emerge from the famine stronger and more determined in their devotion to God, since the Holy Grape and the Eucharist have seen them through the worst of circumstances. The fulfillment of St. Michael's prophecy will mark a new beginning rather than an end. The hunger will have tried humanity's faith, but it will also have purified it, strengthening the ties that bind the devout to their Creator and removing any impurities. St. Michael, the Archangel's message, is a warning as well as a comfort in light of the approaching global hunger. It exhorts believers to grow in their faith, to be ready for the spiritual and material tribulations that lie ahead, and to put their faith in God's assurance of provision and safety. The Rosary, the Eucharist, and the Blessed Grape are shown as potent instruments that will sustain the faithful through the impending night. These representations of divine kindness serve as more than just survival tools. They serve as a constant reminder of the deep bond that exists between God and His people, a bond that will persevere through the most trying circumstances. Believers are exhorted to maintain their resolve, to cling to their faith, and to get ready for the path ahead as the world approaches this great challenge. By doing this, people will discover that God's light will always lead them to salvation, regardless of how severe the famine or how dark the night. I appreciate your participation in this trip. Your participation and presence give this investigation significance and influence. Until then, may the common narratives of our human experience serve as a source of inspiration and hope for you.